I'm about to explode. The Nether, that is. So we've done a lot in our hardcore world. We have full diamond armor, we have some fun builds, we have a giant storage room, and we have enough frogs to fill an ocean. But what we don't have is netherite. So I think the best way for us to get netherite is pretty much just filling the entire nether with TNT, blowing it all up, and seeing what happens. So what we are going to do today is build the tallest, the biggest, and the best gunpowder farm I've ever built. Now before we get started with that, in the last episode I was asking for name suggestions for our two little LA friends here, and I got a really cool name suggestion. Someone in the comments suggested I name them Cosmo and Wanda, and I thought that was pretty funny. Let me know down in the comments below if you were a fan of the Fairly Odd Parents growing up. I don't have any name tags to name you guys right now, I'm sorry, but as soon as I get some, I'll name you. Bogert, do you think this gunpowder farm is gonna be awesome? I think he thinks so. So, gunpowder farms are actually extremely useful in Minecraft because not only do they allow you to make tons of TNT for, blowing stuff up, but you can also use the gunpowder to make firework rockets, and as soon as we get our elytra, we're gonna need lots of fireworks so that we can fly around. So, gunpowder is super useful. But while I gather my materials for the farm, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I've been putting a lot more effort into these videos, and so if you enjoy, consider leaving a like and letting me know what you think down below. So, like I said, this farm is going to be huge. And so what we need is a lot of space. So just to make sure we have enough room, I'm gonna flatten out a bit more of this area here, and I also have everything I need to build the farm inside of these chests. Okay, so here's my plan. What's a better design for a giant creeper farm than a giant creeper? Now the only issue is I'm gonna need a lot of wool to do that because we'll have to do a sort of creeper pixel art on the background, but after we make this farm, we can work on a very simple, easy wool farm design I'll show you guys. Without further ado, cue the farm building. Alright, we're done with the first layer. So if you've been watching me for a while, this farm looks really similar because I've made it many times for many years, and the reason I'm choosing the design for this farm is because we're gonna need to make it super tall. But what's nice about this farm is it's stackable. So if we look inside here, it's very simple. We have this level here. The trapdoors sort of help with not letting zombies and skeletons spawn. The carpet helps with not letting spiders spawn, and so only creepers spawn, and eventually they get pushed into this chamber here, which will build a killing chamber later on. I just don't want to build it right now in case I fall. I want to be very careful. But what these two little corners are is this is actually probably the hardest part of the build. We need cats. Now, thankfully, I have pretty much an unlimited supply of cats because there's a ton of villages around here, and we have lots of cats, and I do have leads, so we'll be all good. For this layer, it'll be really easy to get the cats in here because I can just drag them in with my lead. But for the later layers, we're going to need to build a giant staircase and drag them in with our leads. So I'm going to build the entire farm first, and then at the end, we're going to get the cats in, and I think it'll be pretty fun. Just dragging, like, literally tens and tens of cats into this farm. It's going to be awesome. Oh, I will also leave a link in the description below for this farm tutorial I've done before, but definitely check it out after this video because you're not going to want to miss what happens next. Alright, so I'm thinking this might be a good size for the farm, maybe a little bit bigger, but we can always add more layers once we're done. Something I didn't think about is once we add the feet of the creeper, there's just going to be this weird under part, so I might have to delete a layer, or I'll find some way to cover it up. But now that that's finished, what we need to do is create a little bit of a wool farm to get some more wool for the creeper. Now I already have a bit of wool, but we're definitely gonna need a lot more, and we're gonna need a lot of colors, because if we look at Mr. Creeper over here, we're gonna need some white, some lime green, maybe some gray, some dark green, some black. We're gonna need a lot of wool. But thankfully I know a design that's pretty good, pretty efficient, except it's not the fastest, just because you only use one sheep of each color. However, if we AFK for a good amount of time, we should be able to get more than enough. And while I'm waiting, I can just do some other work in the world. Well, bam! Okay, here we are. This is just a small little sheep farm design I used. It's fully automatic, and it's pretty simple. So I'm probably going to have to run this farm for a long time to get enough wool to make this creeper. However, I think while I'm doing that, what I'm going to do is just AFK here, and also just work on some stuff. We are almost on day 100, which is pretty cool. So by the end of this episode, we will have survived 100 days in hardcore Minecraft. So I'm gonna have to do a lot of AFK. I'm gonna AFK, make myself some food, maybe take a little potty break, maybe even record another episode away from here, and just let these sheep do their thing. So I've been AFKing, well, not necessarily AFKing, but doing a lot of work in my world, and I was dumb and I made the mistake of not remembering that this farm wasn't in the spawn chunks. And so I was doing a lot of work in my world, hoping that like over these few hours of me mining and killing mobs and collecting things that, you know, I was mostly just mining the whole time, but I was hoping that I would get more wool, but I wasn't in the spawn chunks, so nothing happened. So then I had to AFK for a long time, and here we are. We finally have some dang wool. Now, I'm going to have to build a giant creeper, probably 4 blocks per pixel to make this farm fit. And so, wish me luck. It's going to take a while. I'm probably going to make a lot of mistakes. I'm just terrified. Whew. Okay, I have to admit, this has been one of the longest builds I've made in my entire life. And I've been playing Minecraft for about a decade. Oh, these sheep have carried me so well. Thank you guys so much for your service. But without further ado, here is the farm. Yes, okay, just a little tease. It's a lot different than I originally pictured in my head, but here we go. This is the giant creeper, and as you can see, it quite literally is a giant creeper. Now, here's the thing. He's kind of fancy. Now, the reason the creeper is fancy is because the farm only goes up to about the middle of his bow tie here, where my crosshair is. So what I did is I added a few more layers to fill the entire creeper's head, and then I was like, oh no, I need a place to AFK. So what I did was I made a giant hollow top hat because I had a lot of black wool left because I wasn't using too much of it in the build. And so I made a giant top hat with the black and white, and I made an AFK platform inside. I'll actually show you how we can access it. And I gave him a little monocle to fit the fancy vibe and a bow tie, and I was like, hey, that's pretty good. Now right here I do have a door, and yeah, it leads to the inside, lots of stuff. And if we go in here, it takes us to the chamber where the creepers get dealt with, and we have our drops in the chest. And so far, this is what we have. I've put all the extra stuff in my other chests, but this is what we are getting from this farm, and the drops have been pretty good so far. I mean, this build took me about 10 hours total. I started at about noon. It's a little past 10 right now that I just finished, and I've pretty much been working on it this entire time. We can go up here, and this takes us to the AFK platform. Yeah, it's just a giant ladder. But yeah, this thing is no joke. This is a lot bigger than I thought it would have to be. I was pretty accurate when I said about, you know, 4 blocks for 1 pixel. And as you can see, I messed up that rule a little bit. Eventually, like, I started with the feet, and I did the torso first and the head. That's why the style of those is a little different than the sides and the back of the head. But, you know, it still fits. It's not the best looking, but you can tell it's a creeper, and I think it looks pretty cool. So there we have it, a giant creeper farm inside of a giant creeper. And let me tell you, this thing will get us more gunpowder than we will ever need in our entire life. I mean, we already have, like, what, like 10 stacks? And we're just gonna get more. Now, this creeper is quite the gentleman, as you can see, and I think all gentlemen deserve a good name. So if you guys have any good name suggestions for Mr. Creeper back there, let me know down below. Oh, hello, horse. And yeah, I don't know what's going on, but we have so many frogs. I bred some a while ago, but I assumed they would despawn. Maybe if I breed them, they're just my pet, or there's just so many and they haven't had a chance to despawn, but I have no idea what's going on with all these frogs. So what I'm thinking for this world is this area behind me, obviously like the mushroom cottagecore village, where I'm going to do all my homey stuff and have my village, and it's going to continue to where I'm walking right here. But then over there on that big plateau, I'm going to have my more fun builds and maybe my farms, or at least my farms that look fun. Maybe I'll stick with the theme and build a giant wool farm using that design in a giant sheep. Or, I don't know, we'll see. But definitely the fun area. I think I'm going to try to fill a lot of this water up with grass like I had to do there. I had to fill it with a ton of dirt, and it took a long time because the creeper was too big. But I think it works out pretty well. If you guys have any more fun farm suggestions, let me know down below, because this was really fun. I don't know why I thought of this. I just thought of it last minute. I was like, I need a big gunpowder farm. What am I going to do? Let's put it inside a creeper. And hey, it worked. What I actually did to AFK to make the wool work is I did a bunch of mining around underneath this area. I got a lot of XP. I only found a few diamonds, not too many, but I got a lot of gold, actually. And I've already had a ton of gold, which is why I just splurged and put some on the little monocle. But I have a ton of iron, ton of gold, ton of copper now, ton of coal, because I never mine coal. And yeah, we're going to be pretty set. One thing I should also mention is, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I decorated the pathway around here a lot more. I put a lot more blocks, and recently I just decided to add these vines from the nether. I think it looks really, really pretty. Pretty much just chose a bunch of random blocks, put them together, and you know what? It kind of works out. I also added some vines to my mushroom house and made the top a bit bigger, so it looks a bit more like a mushroom. So I think my next big project, though, is if this video gets 1,000 likes by the time I'm ready to record the next one, I will turn every piece of gunpowder I have into TNT. Now, that might not sound like a lot, but my goal is to shoot for at least 10,000 pieces. I think that could be fun. Maybe we'll start off with 1,000 and do 10,000 another time. Maybe we'll do more than 10,000. I really want to do some big, grand, amazing things in this Let's Play because, I don't know, I felt like some episodes in the past Let's Plays have been a little lackluster, so I'm really trying to go all out with this one. Okay, that's much better. I felt like it was missing a little something, and I think that gunpowder on top really makes it. And, oh no, there's a skeleton. See, the head, especially with the top head, it makes it dark in the front here, and I'm not sure how I can light this up. I tried messing around with some frog lights because I had, like, one. Didn't really work. But, I don't know, maybe I can hide some torches on top, and they won't really be noticeable. I don't really want the light to be able to be seen, so I'll have to figure out something. Maybe I can do... I don't know. If you guys have any suggestions, let me know down below. Now, I should also mention, we have officially survived 133 days in hardcore Minecraft. Now, to be fair, a few of those days are from AFKing, but during the AFK work, some of the AFKing, I was doing work in the world, so it does count as surviving. We've definitely way surpassed the 100 days landmark, and pretty soon, we will be at 200 days, so I don't know, I'm really excited. I think instead of doing world tours on special episodes like episode 25 or episode 50, we'll do them on special days. So day 100, it's a little bit too early to do a world tour, but I think maybe I'll go for one on day like 250 or day 500 or something like that. Let me know if you guys like that idea. But my friends, that is all for today's episode. I really hope you enjoyed because this was a really fun and really awesome build to make. Even though this whole episode took me like 2 days and 15 hours to make, it's definitely worth it because this build is absolutely awesome, and I love him. I don't really know if he has a name yet, he doesn't, but he's pretty cool. So if you guys enjoyed, consider leaving a like and subscribing. I really appreciate it, and it really does help me out and show your support for this awesome video. But thank you guys so much for watching. My name is JWhisp, and I will see you guys all in the next episode.